Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I go by Come Try with Annie and I post all my triathlon adventures on this channel. But today, since it's off season, we're gonna switch it up and I'm going to review the Shokz Open Swim Pro headphones. This is an unsponsored video. I have no affiliation with Shokz, so I figured an unbiased review would be helpful before you go buy these yourself. I've been eyeing getting waterproof headphones since I started triathlon 3 years ago. Anyone that swims knows it can get pretty boring in the water, so why not have some entertainment while you're doing it? I can't believe it's honestly taken me this long to finally buy a pair. I'm a big fan of Shokz. I have their running headphones, which I've had these for over 4 years. I bought them randomly at a bike festival. The sales guy got to me and I'm so happy he did. This was before they were even known as Shokz. They went by after Shokz. I'll put them on for you just so you can see what they're like, but basically they're bone conduction headphones, so they don't go in your ears, they go around them and they rest right here. I like that it looks like you don't have anything on if your hair is down, and it kind of creates the illusion like you're listening to a speaker instead of having headphones in, so you can really hear your surroundings. And that's why they're hugely popular with triathletes, because when you're cycling or running outside, you can still have a good sense of what's going on around you. And the swim version of the headphones look very similar. They weigh like slightly heavier, but they've got the same look. The reason you can't wear these in the water is because these have MP3 capabilities, because Bluetooth does not work underwater. You learn something new every day. So these can act as your running headphones. They have Bluetooth and MP3. The first version of these only had MP3, which I think is a huge upgrade for the Pro. And you can switch off whatever mode you need to be in, and it's essentially like you got a little iPod shuffle in here. I originally bought these just for swimming, but I realized it can definitely be helpful if you don't want to run or cycle with your phone. Like, for instance, I hate running with my phone on the track. So being able to set my phone down and just have the headphones will be a huge game changer. Personally, I will not be cycling without my phone because I will definitely get lost. So let's get into it. I'll show you guys how these work. It's a little bit more complicated than your average headphone, so let's get into it. I would say the most annoying thing about the headphones is you have to manually download the music if you want to use it for the pool. So you just plug it into your computer. It has a funny little charging cable, so if you lose this thing, you're kind of out of luck because there's no way you have this cable or whatever. So once you plug it in there, it'll pop up on your computer. It'll be this Swim Pro little hard drive thingy. And here you can see I already downloaded a bunch of songs onto it. And the way I did that is I manually looked them up. Maybe there's an easier way to do this, but this is what I've been doing. I manually look up the songs on YouTube, and then I use YouTube to MP3 converter website. I'm probably getting a billion cookies or whatever the hell on my laptop, but it's really easy. You can just find any song you want. And my favorite part about this is you can download whatever you want from YouTube. So if there's any unreleased tracks that you can't get off Spotify or iTunes, or personally, I really like listening to live shows or concerts, stuff like that. So having those downloaded and easily accessible during a workout is a game changer. I actually started using the MP3 mode a bunch on my runs because it had really good songs that I usually can't listen to when I work out. So that has been a huge pro. And then you just do that 1,000 more times and you got yourself a playlist. It's definitely time consuming. It's definitely early 2000s core, you know, stealing songs off the internet. I feel like I need to set one of them to my ringtone now. But I put on like 20 songs on there and I was ready to go test these puppies out at the pool. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. I did not record when I was there because there were children in the pool. So I felt kind of weird doing that. I actually had 2 test days trying out different scenarios for you guys. And on the first day, I made a huge mistake and I forgot the earplugs that Shokz gives you to put in your ears. I didn't think it would be a huge deal, so I went anyways, and it actually wasn't a crazy big problem. I put on the headphones and I was nervous that the splashing from the water was going to be super distracting, but I could actually hear the music really well. My only problem was I had to blast the music because I did not have the earplugs. And when these are being blasted, you can really hear the music, which I thought was going to be a huge con, but the second day I went with the earplugs, I did not have to play the music nearly as loud. But let me show you what it sounds like when you blast the music. And why I think that's kind of a problem, because I definitely play music loud when I'm running. And it doesn't bother me because you're just running past people. But in the pool, you stop a lot at the wall and there's other people at the wall. And it just felt really awkward to be like blasting music, especially when I'm listening to embarrassing music. Sometimes you just want to listen to the Wicked soundtrack. without any judgment. So I thought that was going to be a con, but that's definitely a reason to be wearing the earplugs so you don't have to blast it as loud. And Shokz has an app where you can change the EQ modes, and I changed it to swimming because I assumed that that would be better, but I actually realized that was also a reason I had to blast the music because it really makes it sound really flat. It kind of takes away all the bass and enhances the vocals, but I wanted to hear the entire song, so I kept turning it up to get a better listening experience, and that was just blasting the music. So I think no matter what, you should always just use the standard mode there. A common misconception I hear a lot about listening to music while swimming is, oh, it's gonna ruin your rhythm, your cadence, swim stroke, all that stuff, but I had no problems with that at all. It was really enjoyable. It was really nice to finally have some entertainment in the pool, especially if you swim alone. So I highly recommend if you're getting really tired of swimming or if you just want some fun. I do have 3 cons after my swim test. The number 1 con to me was the shuffle mode. When you download the music from your computer, it's going to be in the default order that you added the songs to. And of course, it's going to get boring and predictable if you know the exact order that the songs are in. But thankfully on the app, it does have a shuffle mode, so I did change it to that, thinking that it would be great, but I quickly realized, especially since I only had 15 songs, I think once you get a better playlist downloaded, this won't be as much of an issue. But the shuffle doesn't have the capability to realize, let's say you have 20 songs in there. It's not gonna shuffle and then kind of create an order off that shuffle. It's gonna shuffle the entire library every time, so you are likely to get repeats. I got many repeats during the swim workout. The next time I went, I added 5 more songs and it was less likely, but it was still happening. So the more songs you add, the less it'll be an issue, but I think that's a huge issue. I don't know if there's anything they can do to fix that, but I wish there was a way to see like which songs you have downloaded and maybe have like that file that I can see on my computer. I wish I could see that file in here and I can click exactly what song I want. But at the moment, they don't have that. Number 2 con was it was kind of uncomfortable to put on with my swim cap. I finally got used to it. I think the model in the box actually shows it pretty well, like how they should be, but my cap kept kind of getting in the way and it was just a little annoying. It's a tiny con because after a while I didn't notice it, but just a heads up. Another thing with the fit is I was never used to wearing earplugs before, so it felt really like weird to not have a good sense of my surroundings at the pool. I kept thinking like the lifeguard was talking to me, so I kept like taking them out a little bit and putting them back in, and it just felt kind of weird to be like totally deaf at the pool. But there's really no reason to be needing to listen to other people most of the time, so it wasn't a huge problem for me. But that might be a problem for you if you have friends at the pool. It's kind of hard to double task with these headphones. It's mostly a solo adventure, I would say. But the headphones stayed on in place like perfectly. There were no issues there. And then the 3rd con is just more a warning to you guys. I had my Run headphones for 4 years with absolutely no problems. I treated them with care. I did drop them a couple times, and I guess the speakers in here are pretty fragile because they are prone to being a little less effective once they've been dropped. You can kind of hear a rattle in the headphones. Mine never really messed with the listening experience, but for example, my fiance Jacob, he dropped his all the time. He would throw his all the time. They just seem very indestructible and like they can take that. But we learned that is not the case. His are completely blown out. You can't hear any music out of it because of how much he dropped them. It sounds like when someone turns up the bass too loud in a car, it just sounds ridiculous. He can't even use them anymore. So just a heads up, these aren't really drop proof. They will be okay 1 or 2 times, but don't get used to doing that. To wrap it up, I think these headphones are great. They made my last 2 swim sessions way more enjoyable. I think they actually improved my swim because last week I was swimming 135 per 100 yards easily, and at the same effort this week I was swimming 128 easily. So you tell me, maybe it's the music, maybe I was just having a good day, but they definitely provide entertainment in the water. They're $179, which I actually think is pretty decent for a headphone. You can use these when you're running, cycling, and of course swimming. If you already have your favorite running headphones, they do have the Open Swim, not the Open Swim Pros, and they only have MP3 capabilities, no Bluetooth, and those are $129, so you can save $50 there. Anyways, I hope this review helped. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.